gun people. Going to talk about these old military mags here. Going to do some cleaning on them, and figured I would try and show how I clean them. You can get these mags, the old military mags, for, I don't know. I usually don't buy them unless I can get them for $5, but you know, because you can get the P mags, which are plastic, a little bit better, which they're issuing now. This is the old military style issue. So when people are selling, they're usually asking about $5, $5 to $7 for them. Sometimes you'll see them asking 9 or 10, but I don't buy them if they're that much. But if I can get them for $5, 30 round clip for the ARs. They're not metal like they're rusting. I'm not sure exactly what they're made of. I just know I carried them. I was carrying these back in 70s when I was in the Air Force. So they've been around for a long time, and they've got the plastic ones now that are a little bit lighter, but these are a good buy for $5. But anytime I buy these, I don't know what condition. I don't know if they bought them from a surplus, if they were used, if some guy used them and then just got rid of them. So when I buy these, I always do a complete breakdown of them and take them apart and go ahead and give them a good cleaning. So I've got this one here that I've already taken apart and cleaned. I got this one that needs some cleaning, and this one I'm just going to show you how to take it down a little bit easier. There's a little pin, a little hole right there. Will you can tell right here how this magazine is kind of popped up right there. If I push this back down and close it, that's how you're going to get your mag. This little piece right here is which pops up in order to take it apart. And I find if you can get some sort of screwdriver or something in there that gives you a lot of leverage, that you just basically bend that up. I don't know if you can see that little lip coming up there. As soon as you make that lip come up a little bit, you pull forward, it disconnects it. And then you just get that mag and you just rip that that pin. If you go too deep in here, you're going to hit the front part of the mag. So you've got to go just low enough to where you can get over that lip but still use enough leverage to pull this sucker off. Now you can tell I've hooked the spring there, and that's why it's kind of not coming off real well. So I've got to slide this back out to let go of that spring. Now I've pushed that spring back. Now I can get this in here and just pull that right off. And then when this piece comes off, I always look at it and make sure it's not curved. If this part is curved up or bent, I'll make sure and bend that down a little bit. It's a pretty flimsy piece because I want this part to seal when I slide it back on. So once you pull off the butt plate, retaining spring, pin, pate, whatever I don't know the technical term for it, but it retains the spring, so your spring's going to pop out. Obviously you want to look at the mag before you take it apart to know which way is front. The little bullet faces to the front, and then basically you just got to wiggle this spring out until you get to this part. And then without forcing it, just kind of maneuver it, and then it pops out. And so that's basically your parts to the magazine. The butt plate, the spring, the follower, where you load your ammo, and then the casing itself. And this one I haven't cleaned. I've already taken apart, and I've taken this spring off because this, you'll notice there's a little bitty hole right here that this piece goes into. So when I put this back together, this has got to go like so, and then that's going to go in that little hole. That spring right there is going to go right in that little hole. So to clean these, it's not real rocket science. What I usually do is your favorite oil, whatever it is, a little rim oil, I'll go ahead and I'll spray down the spring, and I'll spray it on top of my other components. That way I get my oil on everything and I don't have to spray each individual piece. So that saves me a little bit of oil. So I'm just going to spray my spring there. I got this some oil on that. I got oil on my butt plate already. I'm going to flip the spring over, give it a little spring on there. I'm going to look down at the inside because this is where it's usually the dirtiest. I'm going to squirt some oil down there. Make sure it's nice and it's going to attract any dirt or anything. I'm going to take my cleaning rag, basically wipe down the parts. Doesn't take that long. I'm just getting off any dirt, looking for broken parts, chipped pieces, sharp parts that might be some sort of defect on a spring. I'm going to go along. I usually grab a little bit, I'll squirt right in between my fingers with some oil, and now I just grab this spring here and I go all the way through, so I'm actually wrapping around the whole spring, and I just keep twisting this spring until it's all the way through. So then after I get all the way through the spring is done, I'll either cut a rag that'll fit inside this tube, or like this t-shirt right here, I can take a little bore brush I have and kind of shove this in here. If I can get it up to the top, I will, because then I can just pull it all the way through. But you got to keep it. Hopefully I'm still on camera here. So then if I can get a little bit of the t-shirt coming out the top, I'll just pull this through the magazine here, and it cleans out any dirt or anything in there. Look through there, it should be nice and clean and wiped out. Got the oil out. Then I can put it back together. So I'm going to do that one. I've already cleaned this one the way I wanted it. I just, for time's sake, I just want to show you how I clean it. So I put the spring back on here, put the spring back in the little follower there. If you ever get in a problem taking apart guns or working on guns, either take pictures with your phone every time you remove a piece, so you can go back and see what it looks like when you're putting it back together. You can go in reverse and know which one you took off. You can make a little video of you taking it apart so you can go back and review it. But I know that the little pointed part is the point of the front of the bullet, so that goes to the front of the mag. I also know that this mag feeds like this, so this is the front of the mag. So I know this follower is going to go in here. If I didn't know, and you got another mag, and you got another mag, you can pick that up and kind of look and go, okay, I know which way it goes here. So now I'm going to put this, getting this in here is kind of the tricky part, because you kind of, I usually just put the front part in first and then kind of turn it sideways, left and right, and then that'll get it in there. And then it should feed right on up, and it should look like one of your newer mags. Then you want to get the spring and push that down. When you put your retaining pin back in, again, that little bitty flat parts got to go in this little opening back here. If you look, there's a little opening right there. It's smooth and flat on this side, but on this side it's got that little opening that this little piece is going to go in. So you know it slides in like this, so it ends up like this. Just force that mag down. Get your retaining pin on there. Make sure that feeds right on in there. And right as I push it, that last little part is going to click here. And when that clicks down, my mag's back together. Now, the new followers will not, some people will look at these mags and go, oh, these mags are no good because if you press down on the front and it stays down like that, that's a bad mag. Look, I've never had one of these mags fail. Mags will do this all the time. When you've got rounds in there, it keeps it level, because the rounds will keep it level. But I've seen people at gun shows walk up to these and go, oh man, these mags are no good, they're broken because the thing sticks down. That doesn't matter. On the newer mags, they've made them longer, so they will not do that. So if you get a tan one, or one of the upgraded followers, it will not do that. But the old military mags will do that. They're fine, there's nothing wrong with them. I don't have a problem with them. Alright, hope that helps. That's cleaning the old military GI mags. Again, I pick them up for $5 each, and you can never have too many mags or too many rounds. Somebody always asks me, how much ammo do you think you ought to have? I always answer, twice as much as you already have. Because ammo is never going to go down, it's only going to go up in price. It's always going to be of value. Even if money goes down, you can still trade ammo for things, for bartering. Ammo's always going to be a good asset to have. It's never going down. You'll always be able to resell it. If you keep it right, it lasts forever. All right, so we'll end that there.